Hi, how you doing? I'm Pat.
I'm Tina.
And this is Ivan. Welcome to our van tour. We've been putting off doing this video for ages, but now is as good a time as any. We're just after spending 3 weeks in France. We're on the way home now. We've had a great time and we've learned a lot about Ivan and what works, what doesn't work. But really, we're pretty happy with how everything has worked out. So we'll show you around. We spent the last 9 months building this, stripping it out and building it up and stealing lots of ideas from other people. Nate Murphy for one, Kite Van Man, I think Alex from Kite Van Man. So yes, I have some nice ideas and combine them all together, and this is the end result. So this is Ivan. It's a 2006 Iveco Daily, 2.3 litre engine, long wheelbase, high roof, 7 metres long from end to end, so pretty big machine. We've done very little in the outside apart from painting the bonnet just with white hammerite, and up here as well we painted the front there, and the roof, we painted the roof with white hammerite as well. We've put in 2 windows, one opening window here and a fixed one on the opposite side. We have the electrical 240 volt hookup here. We put on a nice decal. This here is the water heater outlet. It's a bit ugly, but it's very effective with 15 minutes when you have hot water. It was reconditioned Carver Cascade 2. Here is the LPG gas inlet. Then around the back we have a ladder that we put on. It's an aluminium ladder, just a builder's ladder. We had a steel ladder that we welded up, but it was just too heavy. The hinges didn't like it at all. Up on top we have a 3-bar roof rack with a roller at the back there for loading the kayaks. We have a vent to leave a bit of light, a bit of air into the bed below. And up front there you've got 2 100-watt solar panels.
Right, so the first thing you've got to decide is what you want from your layout. For us, it was a big open seating area, and we have a lot of equipment, so we needed a garage at the back. We've got bikes, so that meant we had to have a fixed bed up high to make a big space underneath for storing the bikes, and then a large open seating area with the kitchen and no fixed bathroom. That was our compromise. We don't have a big open bathroom, and we love it. This works very well for us. We can sit looking out through the door and be relaxed in a nice space.
Right, so this is the bedroom area. This is one of the things we copied from Nate Murphy, having the panelled sides here. It makes it look a little bit less like a sauna. We like all the wood panelling, but entirely wood panelled is just a little bit too much, we think. Here we have 2 clothing lockers here, all subdivided up inside here. We put the angled edges on it so I can put a cushion here, and it makes a nice little chill out area here on top. In here as well I also have electrical 230 volt electrical sockets, one from the inverter, one from mains. So we have a normal double bed mattress from IKEA. It's really comfortable. We didn't need to get any special foam or anything. It's just we sleep really well here. At the back here we have reading lights. We have a double USB port up here. Another one here for charging up phones at night. We have a shelf here for books and a glass of water at night. We have this opening here, which we have, if you want to leave the back doors open, it leaves a nice bit of air through at night. Depending where we're parked up, it's absolutely fine. We have these D-rings here as well, same as Nate Murphy. At the moment, other than hanging sunglasses off it, we haven't really found any use for them. One of the best things we have in the van is this blackout blind for the skylight that Tina made up. Simple foil backed bubble wrap and fabric over it, and magnets attached to the corners, and that slots up here and blacks out the light perfectly, so we sleep really well.
Welcome to our kitchen. So we have a double hob and a separate sink. We got these from Amazon. It's a little bit more bulky than the fixed units, but we like it. It works well and it costs a bit less. We have a countertop we got from our DIY shop that was an offcut, and there was enough left over to make this really useful extension here, which just lifts up. That's one of the best things in the kitchen. That bit of extra space makes a huge difference. So up on the wall here we've got a magnetic spice rack where we put salt and pepper, etc. We have these little shelves that we got from IKEA fixed onto the wall. So here we've got all the tea, coffee. This is a blueberry picker, which we've yet to use. Toothbrushes, coffee maker, and here at the end we've got the breadboard, which just fits nicely onto the wall. It's all about slotting everything away, making it secure so it doesn't move when you're driving along. We have a fan here, but we don't use it very much. It doesn't really work terribly well, and Pat melted it when cooking something, well, actually cooking midges. He was trying to get rid of the midges back in Ireland and turned the hob on full, and it melted the fan, so it doesn't work very well. So the lower part of the kitchen, it's all drawers and storage, and they have these lovely openings which stop them falling open when we're driving along. Little latches, you stick your finger through and pull the latch and it opens up. This is our tall things drawer, designed around bottles of wine. There's none left in there at the minute, but anything tall and food. We've got these little soft storage things from IKEA, which are really handy. You can squash your stuff in there. It's all about stopping it moving around when you're driving, nothing rattling about, and keeping it nice and compact. Underneath here we've got the fridge. It's a bit of a beast, this, but it's a real luxury to have a fridge, so you have to kind of get on with it. It fits really tightly. We pull it out, you get your feet out of the way, lift it up, and inside there's the fridge, which is great. You can get loads of stuff in there. Prioritise the beer. We get long life milk, so we don't have to store it in there unless it's open. It's supposed to work off 12 volt and 230 volt, but the 12 volt part of it isn't working, so we just run it off the inverter, and that seems to work just fine. Right, so there's always going to be a corner in a kitchen where you can't really access it, so we use this corner here under the sink for deep storage, things we don't need too often, like spare rice. That's all in underneath there, under the sink. We've also got first aid hanging up in a basket under the tap. That's accessible because you don't want to be rummaging around for your first aid in an emergency. So on this side we have a shallow drawer at the top for cutlery and cooking implements. We've got bowls at the back and a few miscellaneous things. Underneath we've got another drawer with the plates, pans, and 2 mugs and a few glasses. They've all got their own little cutout so that when we're driving along nothing's rattling around. It's a 500mm extension on the drawer so we can get all the way to the back. And underneath here, general food storage, other bits of stuff, bin bags. It's all divided up with the IKEA dividers, and there's so much room. We've really plenty of space. And at the bottom, this little flap comes down and we keep the frying pan in there, and a little ridge monkey, which is another type of frying pan that closes over, and you can flip eggs in it very satisfactorily. So on this side of the kitchen we've got the bins under the seat here. We open that drawer and we've got compost, we've got recycling with cardboard, the bottles, 4 different slots for all the different types of rubbish, and then we've got a little space here for a shopping bag, space for a brush to sweep the floor. That all closes back in there. Then under the seat here in the back corner things that we don't use too often. So we've got the laundry under this little flap. We keep the laundry in here. We've also got spare engine oil, we've got wetsuits, there's the wheel arch, and there's a little cubby hole in under there for storing things. General miscellaneous stuff. Plenty of space, every bit used. And then our favourite part of the kitchen, the mosaic, which I made, and there's a link to that, how I made it, at the end of this video. But it really gives nice colour to the whole van, and it's a central focus. So that's the kitchen.
So this is our seating area, our chilling out area. I use this for work as well as anything else. We eat here. The L-shaped seating works really well for us. The table, we have a piece of plywood, a map of the climbing areas of France, and a sheet of perspex over it. All these little squares are the main climbing areas of France. This is where we spent a lot of time in the last week or so, around La Bérarde in the Parc des Écrins. So this works really well. It swivels, so we can swivel out of the way like that, very effectively. Here, another one of the central parts of the van, nice focal point. This is a landscape of the Kerry Mountains that Tina painted. It's an idea taken from Nate Murphy again. This whole panel slides down. I made a pulley in here from two pieces of metal pipe. This just opens up, and the whole thing drops down, giving access to the cab. Great for security, for insulation, to keep the heat in or the heat out. That works really well. So yeah, we close it up. Putting it up here. I'm closing it off like so. Up here we have over the cab storage. Loads of room here for down jackets, toiletries, rain jackets, basically large volume stuff. Over here, two of these cupboards. Here there are little book cubby for maps and books, or guidebooks and things. Over here then we have all our controls. This is a switch for the water pump. This is for the Propex space heater. Works really well, very effective. This is our water heater. I have a couple of USB points here, and here 230 volts from the inverter. I have the fridge here on a timer, but we've never really needed to use it on a timer. It works really well as it is. And then this is for my laptop. So I mentioned earlier on that we have 200 watts of power of solar panels on the roof, and in here we have all the electrical bits and pieces. So I have two 6-volt batteries, 225 amp hours each, wired together in series to give us 12 watts, 225 amp hours. These are all sealed in with a vent through the floor because they're lead acid batteries. So the batteries are strapped in within the battery box because in the case of an accident you don't want any heavy batteries flying around the place, and also I have them sealed in here to keep any gases out, and to keep my little multimeter and spare fuses here as well. So over here we have the solar charge controller. All the 12-volt system goes through that effectively. In the corner we have a split charge relay which charges up the batteries for when the engine's running through the alternator. I have a cut-off switch here, and down in the corner there, which you can't really see, there is a breaker, circuit breaker. On this side here then we have all the 12-volt fuse box. So the fuses for that are for all lights, LED lights front and back, the garage lights, there's a pump, there's a Propex heater, there's USBs, there's fan, everything is controlled through this fuse box here. Moving over here then, we have a 600 watt inverter, which would be considered too small by most people. but that works well for us. We run the laptop off it, the fridge. I've run power tools off it, and it works just fine so far. So here as well we have a CTEC battery charger, so we can run all the 12-volt appliances when we're plugged into mains. Effectively does the opposite to the inverter. This is a mains socket here, 230 for when we're plugged into on hookup. Really, we haven't used it at all when we've been off grid, haven't needed to, but when I was converting the van, it was very useful to have this here. So I had great fun with the lighting. I like good lighting. I like there to be enough lighting to work in, but also dim lighting for night time. So there's two sets of 6 LEDs, one at the back, one at the front. They're both in dimmers, so we can turn them down or up as required. These are so simple and so cheap to fit. Really worthwhile doing. We also have the reading lights at the back that I showed you earlier on, and also a little frivolous bit was these recessed LED lights. Be any colour you want, and if you really want fancy disco mood, I can have this as well. Frivolous but nice, I think. We also have 2 LED strips in the garage, which I'll show you later on. They worked really well. And lastly, I put a little extra LED light here, just for the step for getting in and out of night. I didn't want to take up any room with a built-in bathroom in the van because we like the open layout, but we wanted to have the option of having a toilet in the van if we really needed to. So we have a porta potty in here in case we need it. We try not to use it. Our first option, depending on where we are, is to go out into the woods and dig a little hole, or we use public toilets. It's just so much easier. Also, emptying the porta potty is not a pleasant job to do, so we try to avoid using it.
So now the shower. This is something we're very proud of, and it surprises most people when we tell them that underneath here we have a full stand-up shower. It takes a little bit of setting up, but it's worth the effort because it saves on the space. We don't have a separate shower room, and it's very easy to do. And we can have a shower every day under here with very little effort. So first we lift off the tabletop. Then we lift off this leg. Move the lovely cushion and the seat cushions. We just throw them up onto the bed, which is a little bit of a hassle, but could be worse. And so we have the 3 pieces of cushion that we move, and then we lift up this plywood seat. We have a little latch to hold it in place. And underneath here we've got a box that's made out of plywood and lined with a shower liner. And we have a copper pipe made into a square and brazed together by Pat. You'll have to go on together. So then we have a shower curtain from the local DIY shop. Inside there we've got a kitchen tap on an extender, just the same as this. Pull that out so you get yourself wet, turn off the water, suds up, and then rinse off again. So it uses minimal water and it drains out through a hole in the floor and into a collecting tank underneath the van.
Right, so back to the van tour video. We didn't get a chance to finish it last night because it just got too late. So here's our garage. It's quite big. The depth of it is dictated by the size of the mattress above it, and the height is dictated by the bikes. So the bikes come out on this foot extension runner, which makes it really handy for loading and unloading, and it's secure. So here we've got a light switch here which two LED strips here which light it up well. And in the back, this side of the van, we have the water tank, the 70-litre water tank up here, and a pump and an accumulator. And the accumulator is there to stop the water pulsing. In the back corner, stuff we don't need to use very often. Thankfully, these are the tools, of enough tools here to rebuild I-Van from scratch if you really needed to. Lots of shelves here. Down at the bottom we have axle stands, we have an axe, barbecue, which has been really handy this last few weeks. Rucksacks here. The biking helmets and boxes and toolbox sit along here. Unfortunately, the handlebar catches them, so they have to come in and out, which is fine. It can be refined maybe, but it works well for now. Right, so strapped in the middle we have a couple of chairs from Tina's studio and a table, wallpapering table, but it works for us. It folds up nicely and fits in there well. In at the back we have our gas locker. The gas locker has the LPG tank strapped in as per regulation, and a gas vent through the bottom. There's also a lip there which is required for the gas. All the gas pipework is in copper, again as per regulation. The locker is sealed up like so. On this side we have the water heater, 7-litre capacity, which is enough for 2 showers for both of us. It works really well. Above here the bike pump wedged in there. We've got a tent, sleeping bags, stuff we don't really access very often. And then behind there are all the valves to switch off all the gas appliances individually. The stove, the Propex heater, which is down here, and the water heater. So the Propex, we looked at getting a wood stove, but when you look at the size of that, it's really small and compact. There's two holes through the floor. It's very easy to fit. It's very safe. It's just a no-brainer. A wood burner would have taken up much more space inside, and also there'd be issues with insurance, I think, as well. So here on this side we have all our climbing gear, our ropes, harnesses, via ferrata gear. All this just hanging up on hooks that I had hanging around in my shed. It's just a really handy way of keeping this kind of gear off the floor, not in boxes, so it's just really easy to access. So here on this side we have a water tank, a hose to connect up to water supply, but this is something here we thought was going to be unnecessary, but I'm really happy we got it. It's a 20-litre water tank. This, along with this cheap and simple kind of 12-volt outdoor shower that we got, we never use it as an outdoor shower. What we do is use it to transfer water from the 20-litre tank into the main tank. So I just disconnect this, transfer that there, pump goes into the tank, and then you just transfer the water over like that. This means that in places where we can't drive up close enough to a water source to connect up the hose, we can fill the 20-litre tank, bring it over and back, and transfer the water into the main tank that way. Overall it's a very versatile system. A little bit awkward to be filling up 20 litres and transferring it over, but with the 2 tanks full we have enough water for 3 days for showers, cooking and drinking 3, even 4 days at a push. So it's worked really well for us. So the last thing I'll show you is that if you want to have the back doors open at night, but you don't want prying eyes in, you can just drop down what we call our security blanket. So that keeps people from seeing what we have in there and makes them less tempted to go snooping around. We can still have air going through the back. I think that's the end of our van tour. So
that's our van tour.
Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. we'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave any questions below and we promise to answer them. Cheers!
Bye!